Alrighty.
And the one thing too I wanted to share with everybody, so Chrissy's getting the presentation and me as well. If you have any like clarification questions, please ask us. I always like making sure that whatever we say is understood by you. If it's any other question that requires us to go through like a black hole and talk about a lot of things, let's wait until the end because I want to respect everybody's time to make sure we finish on time for you guys. So yeah.
The black hole. Alrighty. Can you tell me if you can see the presentation well?
It's loading.
Okay, cool.
Cool. I see it. I'm sure everybody should be.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone so much for being with Brandon and I today, starting your Friday morning with us and escaping the hustle. If you weren't on before Brandon started his day at 5 a.m., out of choice, not out of hustle. And that's what we're going to be talking to you about today. Just really making sure that you are able to build your business in a way that it's sustainable and you're not burning out with it. So our whole point, the thing that we want you to walk away with today is knowing exactly how to structure your revenue, your marketing, and your CRM operations so that your business is working for you instead of you feeling like you're constantly in the weeds or you're hustling for every new dialer, every new client, everything that you're doing. So this is the class for you. You definitely made the right choice today to start your day with us. If any of these things resonate at all, one, you're hustling nonstop, you're doing all of the things. If that phrase is coming out of your mouth, this is definitely a class for you. I'm doing all the things, but it still feels chaotic. It feels like you're not really having the time to be effective, to have things finish and move forward in your business because you're just treading water, checking off the tasks, or going from one fire drill to another one. And this is especially for you if you really want to focus less on the doing of the things and more on connecting with your clients, building real relationships with your networking partners, your communities, and really becoming and stepping into that thought leader that you know you are. You just need the time and space to be able to do that. So you're here because you know the business needs to change, that you've got to have better structures, and we're going to help you walk through what those structures are and what the systems are that you need. So this training is focused on two core areas. One is tech limbo. Brandon's going to walk us through all things CRM technology. So if you are someone who is struggling with too many spreadsheets, all of the sticky notes, I am also learning from Brandon today, or relying on your own brain power to remember everything you're supposed to do, we're going to help you through that. If you're feeling like you're behind because everything keeps moving faster and faster, especially with the age of AI right now, you're going to learn how to really streamline your processes. And then the second thing we're focused on is the strategy overwhelm. So if you feel like you're doing so much from a marketing perspective, but you're not getting the return on your investment, you're doing too much, spending too much time and effort and not enough time back or not enough money and clients back, we're going to help you with that. And then also if you are if you're relying completely on one-on-one services or filling your day with as many things as possible to make the money and to get those clients in, we're going to help you streamline the way you make money as well. So with that, we've got a pretty full agenda. We're going to work through how do you diversify your revenue. First and foremost is how do you make money in your business? How do we make that simple and more reliable? Then we're going to move into marketing. How can you refine the way that you market so that it converts and it also takes fewer resources? And then we're going to end it with the tech side where Brandon's going to come in and show different demonstrations on how to properly use a CRM, not so that your business is more complicated, but so that you're actually getting time back in it. So with that, Brandon, if you want to come in and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Brandon Drake. I'm based in Southern California. So, Healthy Data Guy, the name is because I have a background in culinary arts, functional nutrition, and computer oriented systems and data analysis. So I have a background in data and health, hence the reason why Healthy Data Guy. But I'm a CRM consultant and I really enjoy the work that I do. I actually found this opportunity on accident because I actually quit my corporate IT job working for a CRM company as a data migration specialist, the data guy in me, but I wasn't really happy with that job and I quit my job. I went to culinary school, functional nutrition school, and that's where the healthy data guy came to fruition. And so I really enjoyed my work helping people overcome their health challenges and using food, meal planning, cooking, or coaching, or a combination of all of the above. But that's when I discovered networking, and I really enjoyed the process of networking because we're all contributing to each other's success, and we can't do everything on our own. And I really enjoyed that process. And through networking, one of my partners said, "Hey, you're really good with CRMs. Can you do some CRM work for me and train my team?" Initially, I wanted to say, hell no, I didn't want to do that work anymore because I left corporate not to do that. And that's why I was in the health space. Because he was a really good networking partner of mine, I said, you know what? I'll do a month's worth of work with you. Well, a month turned into 3.5 months because I really enjoyed it. He enjoyed me. And I trained his team up where they no longer needed me. And I really enjoyed that process because I really like teaching people how to fish for themselves. That's exactly what I was doing in the health space, teaching them how to live a lifestyle that's leads to further healthiness. And I was teaching now people or building a CRM solution that allows them to be self-sufficient, not needing me while saving a lot of time. And I really enjoy that process of strategizing, building, and creating relationships. And that is what a CRM is all about. It's all about creating those relationships, being able to scale those relationships and remember people so you can provide value to people. So that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell. My name is Brandon Drake, aka the Healthy Data Guy, CRM consultant.
I love how you got here. It's one of my favorite like origin stories, Brandon. Okay, so I have not actually introduced myself. Hi, my name is Chrissy Mellinger. I'm a business consultant and I specialize in working with health and wellness providers, energy workers, and mission-driven service providers to streamline their businesses. I love what I do. I love being a business owner and getting in and pulling things apart and making them better. And also, I'm a full-fledged human being with other passions and other interests. So I like to be out of my business. I like to help my clients get out of their business and get into more of their lives. And that's what I get to do. My background comes from an MBA, a couple of dual science, Bachelor of Science degrees in finance and economics. I spent 7 years in hotels where my job was literally, honest to goodness, go make us as much money as you possibly can across any and all revenue streams, whether it was selling hotel rooms or food and beverage outlets, spa, golf courses, etc. Chrissy, go find us the money, figure out how to hit budget or how to hit forecast. And I left that in 2020 because the pandemic shuttered the hotel industry and decided I really wanted to do something more. I wanted to bring that structure and that system and all things fine detail to small businesses who, for the most part, often lack those systems and those structures and sometimes are resistant to that. So I get to do the thing that I love to do and help people truly make the world a better place. And that's my little story. So let's get into the bulk of why you're here. We're going to talk all about revenue systems, all about marketing systems, all about CRM operations. But before we get into any of the things that Brandon and I are going to recommend that you do, not tell you you have to do, but recommend that you do, is before you go off and do any of the things we tell you today, please make sure that you're taking a moment and making sure that you have your roadmap in front of you. It is, I'd be remiss if I didn't have this little disclaimer in there of please make sure that you know what vision you're creating for your business, for your world, for the people that you want to help. We're going to give you a lot of really great recommendations that are, for the most part, true across all businesses. But make sure before you start implementing that you really come back to that vision that you have. That's just a little disclaimer I like to put in. So now let's get into revenue. When I say revenue system, I know that's not a phrase that's often used in business, especially entrepreneurial spaces. A revenue system does not mean that you have to have a super complicated, huge, robust offer suite where you're selling 15 different things at 47 different price points. It's not that. A revenue system is simply a diverse and strategic way of making money in your business. So that's the first thing that I really want to kind of drive into is so many business owners think about money in terms of what can I sell? How many open spots do I have available this week? What am I selling next month? What is my focus for sales in Q3 or Q4 to hit my goal? But when you think of it in terms of what am I selling, you're putting yourself into this really narrow perspective of an inherent or implicit trading time for money. What can I sell has this very strong connotation of I'm out there and I'm doing the thing and I'm having conversations and I'm pitching myself and I'm going hard. So instead of asking yourself, what am I selling this month? How many spots do I have available to onboard new clients next week? I want you to instead start asking yourself the question of how am I making money? It opens it up. It takes those kind of blinders off if I only have to sell something, and it gives you more opportunities. And we're going to dig more in a minute of what those opportunities are, but that's the very first thing is just stop asking yourself, if you are asking yourself this question, of what am I selling? And instead start asking a better question of how am I making money in my business? Because it gives you a world of difference. So we're going to pin that for a second. Now I want to talk about what so many entrepreneurs get wrong when it comes to revenue. Most people, like I just said, are focused on what they can sell, which has this implicit trading time for money aspect to it. Once they get to that point where they're like, all right, I'm tapped. I'm at capacity. I don't have any more room to add people. The many reasons that you're probably here today. They start to have this idea of, oh, passive income. How can I create passive income? How can I have more things come in without me doing things? Passive income's great. Asterisk, asterisk. Passive income is great if it's done well. But most often, passive income is used as a non-strategic, not incorporated into the rest of the business, just kind of idea of what can I generate, what can I create, what can I slap some lipstick on and just get out there and push. And that's really effectively wasting your time and money, which as a business owner are two things that you cannot afford to waste. And then the third thing that a lot of entrepreneurs get wrong here is that they don't actually think about the way that they make money at all, and they just focus on marketing. Brandon and I are here to talk to you about three things: revenue, marketing, and operations. If you only focus on two of those three things, you're really shooting yourself in the foot of how well and how sustainable your business can be. So instead of doing all of this stuff, instead of wasting your time and your money, what I want you to walk away and look at in your business is how to create a three-prong revenue system. So the point of having three different ways of making money in your business is to diversify the way that you make money and to reduce the risk to your income and your profit. So there are three buckets. The first one is this core driver, your core offers, your signature offers, the thing that you're known for. And the primary point behind this is typically where most of your money is going to come from. The benefit of having one or two, I'm being specific here, one or two, no more than two for most people, is that this is the primary driver of your revenue. It is also the thing that you are brand associated with. So anyone who knows Brandon immediately says Brandon Drake CRM. Immediately knows that he does that big consulting that he talked about in his introduction. There's a lot of great benefits to that. It makes it easier for introductions, it makes it easier for marketing down the line, and it gives you one thing that you can really drive people to. However, you don't want to stop at just having one or two signature offers, because that means that you are really limiting your client pool. That if you have, let's pretend that you have a 6-month offer, whether it's one-on-one or one-to-many, it doesn't matter. If your core thing is 6 months, you need everybody who's going to pay you to be willing to spend that kind of money, whatever that kind of money is, and to spend that kind of time with you. That's a big ask, especially in times of economic uncertainty, which we're in. That's a really big ask. So instead of just having one or two core offers and putting everybody else on a wait list or hoping they come back to you in 8 months when they're ready for it, the second thing I want you to have in your business is what I'm calling stepping stone offers. These are smaller offerings that are more focused on one area of the thing that you can do that is a smaller risk to your customer. Now, the primary reason you want to have these stepping stone offers is because it's going to increase your conversion. When we increase your conversion, we increase your cash, we increase your income. And it increases conversion by minimizing the risk for your clients, like I just said. So these, you might have heard these called micro or mini offerings, downsells, or even upsell opportunities. What it boils down to is it is a smaller package, a smaller offering, a smaller service that helps your client say yes faster. So for example, let's say that your core offering is a 6-month nutrition program where you cover food, movement, and mindfulness. That's a lot of things that you cover in 6 months. That's a big ask for somebody to say yes to. So in a stepping stone offer, you might break out the movement piece, break it down into, let's say, 2 big things that you teach inside of movement, and offer a 4-week program. A 4-week program is a lot easier to say yes to than a 6-month program because of time and the money cost of it. When your clients or your customers can say yes faster, you're building up that trust in them, you're building up that trust in you, and you're building up that trust in your process or framework being the solution for them, which not only gets you cash faster, but more often than not is going to actually increase the lifetime value of that client, which means you're getting more money throughout that relationship. And because we're not just about money here, we're about true human to human connection, it's giving you more opportunities to really build that relationship, to build that connection with that client, because you're giving them different opportunities to learn from you, to kind of kick the tires and see, is this person the right fit? Is this way the thing that's really going to work for me? And it reduces your risk. And then I want to give a quick example as well on the other side. Most of the time, your stepping stone offers are going to be smaller steps that then eventually, through the buyer's journey, take that client to your signature offering or one of your 2 signature offerings. You can also have stepping stone offers that come after your core offer. And you're going to hear this mostly as upsells. That can look like a maintenance package for someone who completed a 6-month consulting program with you. It can look like one-on-one support on top of a group program. It can look like different done-for-you services instead of done with you. There are lots of ways to get really creative with stepping stones, but this is one of the biggest things that's going to actually make your whole business more sustainable. And also, we don't want to stop here either, because both the core offerings and the stepping stone offers require that you're part of the delivery. And there are times that you're not going to have capacity or desire to be part of the delivery. I told Brandon 1:30 on a Friday is like my end time, not just if I wake up early. I like to take Fridays off. I like to be a little bit more relaxed in the summer. I know I'm not alone in that. So you want to have a third category of making money that literally requires as little work on your part as possible. And that is ancillary revenue streams, or that kind of extra. The whole purpose of this is cash injections. Obviously, you want to make sure that it is congruent with your values, that it makes sense for your business, it makes sense for your clients, that you're not just slapping your name on anything and being like, hey, buy this thing because I think it's cool. Make sure it makes sense, right? We're all of integrity here. But the benefit of an ancillary revenue stream is that the delivery does not rely on you. The 2 biggest examples of this are going to be affiliate programs and referral partnerships. So if you've ever used any of those or clicked even on like an Amazon affiliate link, you know that in sharing this can be as simple as one email with the appropriate link, or even a connection between someone. If you're a referral for somebody else, just sending them a truly ideal connection might get you some money. You didn't have to do anything except have the idea and send the email. And that's really the whole system. When you have these 3 different types of ways that you make money, you are lessening your risk and building up that relationship with your clients. and giving them that opportunity to really learn from you, to get to their goals faster, to get to their goals with less stress through these different opportunities, whether they are stepping stone offers into your core offerings or simply just like 3 or 4 stepping stone offers. So that's the whole revenue system. As you're looking at that, you might have the thought of, okay, great. I have like one of those things. I have a signature offer. How do I figure out what to do next? So when you go after this training, I'm hoping that you spend at least like 30 minutes immediately when we're done. Go away and ask yourself, what do you already have in your business? And what do you miss? What are you missing out of the revenue system? Identify what of the things you already have actually have an ROI, they align with your goals, your vision, the way that you want to run your business, and make the decision on what you're going to keep, change, or delete completely. There may be times that you're going to delete things and it's going to feel really uncomfortable and weird, especially if it's making you money. But those hard decisions are what it means to be a business owner who's moving forward. Then you're going to brainstorm what you're missing, prioritize the most impactful thing for you right now in terms of time, money, and energy, and then create a plan for when you're going to come back and revisit this. This step 4, create a plan, can literally be as simple as a calendar appointment in 4 weeks' time to earmark and check, how have I gone through, what have I gotten done, and what still needs to be added. So let me know. This is the end of the revenue section. Before I move on to marketing, do we have any non-rabbit hole questions, as Brandon said?
I have a quick question about your downsell topic. What would that be, for example, in your case or for a marketing person?
Sure. Okay, I'm trying to find your picture and you're not showing up. What, in terms of marketing, what does it look like?
No, yeah, for the downsell, because it's like, we understand the upsell, kind of offering something else, but what would be a downsell example that would fit that?
Okay, so I'll use one of mine because I know it really well. My core offer is a 6-month consulting package that has a lot of done for you and done with you services. That's a really big ask in terms of time and money. I have also an opportunity to just have a 1-month session with me where we focus on one thing. So instead of focusing on all of the things that we dig into over 6 months, the downsell is we pick one that's going to have the biggest impact to your business, and we go really hard on that for 1 month and get everything cleared out in it. Does that make sense?
Got it.
And I want to
Perfect. Thank you.
add to that too. This is an example for me too. Like I work with a lot of people for 30 days of 1 month, and really like the goal is to get them set up and the foundation set up for them so they're comfortable to be on their own. So that's an easy sell for them. You know, like I tell them my goal is to teach you so you don't need me anymore. Like you don't have to pay me anymore. And I don't see that as a lost customer. I see that as a gain referral partner because I set them on the path to fish for themselves. And now after they've gained confidence in me in a month, they're more likely to want to purchase maybe other options from me, like a retainer package, a maintenance plan, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, go ahead, Chrissy.
Does that make sense, Claudia?
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. It helped a lot.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to the marketing side. Now, when we talk about marketing systems, this does not mean that you are going to have a 37-step funnel that's super complicated, that you have like 4 different tech platforms trying to figure out how you're going to Zapier it together and make it work. A marketing system is honestly just the effective and sustainable way that you are talking about your business and your offers. How do you make it as simple as possible and as sustainable as possible so that you're not burning out, that you're not hustling, that you're not getting to the end of Wednesday being like, holy crap, I have 2 more days. I don't know how I'm doing this. We do not want that to be your reality. So why that is the reality for many entrepreneurs is because they think that doing more equals more. I'm not going to go into that as 2025. We know that that is not the case. The second reason this happens is because entrepreneurs are focused on unreliable or unsustainable channels. I'm going to pick on social media for a minute. Social media is a fantastic tool. However, for most small businesses, especially if you are a solopreneur, it's typically unsustainable. It just is. So focusing solely on social media as the way that you connect with your audience is very difficult for many business owners. And then the third mistake that entrepreneurs tend to make is focusing solely on these right now clients. If you are in the Facebook and Instagram world, you might hear a lot of marketing around this of only talk to people who are ready to buy from you today. But one, that's kind of gross, right? Like we need time as human beings, especially 2025 is a weird year. We'll say that it's a very weird year. There's lots of uncertainty in the world. Uncertainty breeds hesitation, breeds caution. So humans need more and more time to make decisions. It also means that if you are only talking to people who are ready to buy from you today, you are setting yourself up to hustle every single day to talk to those people because you're not building relationship. You're not nurturing for the long term. So instead of any of this stuff where you're just building yourself into a burnout, what I want you to do is have a true marketing system. Now, there are 4 components of this. A marketing system that I want you to have is a refined set of strategies that use complementary channels that target cold, warm, and hot audiences through a combination of building, borrowing, and buying. I'm going to break down each one of those. So element number 1 of marketing system is that every piece of it is refined. That means that every single piece of marketing you put out there, email, social media post, comment on somebody else's LinkedIn post, a blog article, podcast interview, whatever it is, has a strategic purpose. No more, if you do this, no more are you going to post on Monday because it's Monday and that's what you're supposed to do. No more you're going to push for 3 emails to go out every week because you made some commitment to yourself 2 months ago. Every single piece of marketing that you put out into the world is going to have an intentional purpose behind it. An example of what that means is you're going to send an email on Monday to your warm audience, people who have been in your world for a while. They know what you're about, what you do, and you're going to invite them to the next event that you're hosting. You're going to tell them what it is, why it's going to benefit them, and you're going to ask them, hey, come join me on such and such a date for whatever class, and I'll see you there. There's a reason for that. You are providing value and you are moving them along the client journey so that they hopefully eventually buy from you if they're a right fit.
And
So
Chrissy, I want to sorry to interject. If you know anybody, please share this information with them. So you're spreading like wildfire. But anyways, go ahead.
I love it. Yes, so that's element number 1 is the refinement piece. Element number 2 is that you are using complementary channels, that you are using marketing platforms and channels that support one another. This does not mean you're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and podcasts and emails because you can repurpose it. You want to make sure that everything you're doing has a purpose, fits with the way that you want to show up in the world, and also builds on each other. So if you are a speaker where you go really deep into detail on different topics, email marketing is typically going to be a better choice for you as a complementary channel than social media because you can go deeper in email than you can on most platforms. That's what I mean by complementary channels, channels that are going to actually help one another to grow. This can also be seen as a loop. If you are a podcast host, you're going to drive people to your podcast. That's going to drive people to an email list that may drive people to your podcast that are going to drive people. You see the loop? They support one another. Yeah, Nathan, LinkedIn and email, great complementary channels. They really support one another in going deeper into different topics. The third element of this is that you're targeting cold, warm, and hot audiences. Now, I'm not going to touch on cold and warm because those we're pretty much well aware of, right? You need to be visible. People need to know that your business exists and you want to nurture them from just following you on a platform to really being in your world and opting into something. But I want to really talk about the hot audience for a moment, because this is where I see a lot of people ignore the low hanging fruit, in a really transactional language way of putting it. Really make sure that you are continuing to express gratitude, continuing to really nurture your past clients, your current clients, above and beyond just what's in your contract. People who have been in your world for years and years who may not have purchased anything from you. This can be really easy ways of sending a quick note to people who have been in your email list for 18 months. Hey, we haven't really had a conversation. Would love to get to know you. Tell me about your business. Tell me about insert thing that you do. Just a simple personalized conversation, or a thank you card, or a happy birthday card, or a, oh my gosh, I saw that you just won this award. Congratulations. Really making sure that you continue to nurture those hot audience members. One, because we're humans and we like connection. And two, because that is, again, going to drive those referral partners, like Brandon said. It's going to drive the business of yours as well. And then finally, the last point of the marketing system is that you're going to do all of this through a combination of building your own audience, organic growth, borrowing other people's audiences. Brandon and I are doing that today, and buying audiences through social media or other advertisement. Buying can be optional for certain businesses. I really find across the board that the combination of all three of these are really beneficial, but at least having the combination of building and borrowing. So that's the marketing system. That's the whole thing. When you look at it in this way of really refining what you're doing, not just generating more noise out in your industry or your niche and even your own business, but instead of the noise, thinking of what needs to be said, what's going to help my person accomplish their goals, what's going to help my person build that relationship in a way that feels good to you. It helps you get out of the hustle mode of just being a content creator, generating more and more crap that goes out that may or may not have a return on it. This is the simple breakdown of a marketing system. The last thing I want to say, because I want to make sure that Brandon's got plenty of time and we have time for questions, is how you get started with the marketing system is exactly how you got started with the revenue system. Go identify what you have in this breakdown. What do you actually have? Figure out if you're going to keep it, change it, or delete it, and then brainstorm for what you're missing. And then you'll get this with the replay as well, but I got a little URL down here. There's a free workbook that's going to actually walk you through both the revenue and the marketing system to help you identify this if you need help with it, and also brainstorm things. But that's the marketing that you need, not being everywhere doing all of the things, just doing what you're doing really well. All right, and with that, let me know if you've got any questions on marketing. Otherwise, Brandon can go ahead.
All right, let's get to my screen here. Hopefully, can people see my screen? Or yeah, I think so.
Yep, we can see it.
Follow-up and snippets and workflows. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about a lot of different, I guess, streamline operation strategies to just be more efficient with your time. So one of the things that are very important are following up. So if you don't have a system in place, manual follow-up is so inefficient and it drains you and your energy levels, because if you have so many contacts, it's hard to stay in contact with all those particular people. So I'm gonna basically share examples of, like, give you ideas on what you can do to try to automate, semi-automate certain specific follow-up items so that you could just be more efficient in your business. So say, for example, like a lot of times, one of the things that getting a lot of questions on, like, think about all the questions that people always ask you over and over and over again, whether it's your networking partners, whether it's your prospects, whether it's your customers. The thing is, I don't like having to recreate that email from scratch and answering. So what I do is I create snippets or email templates. Snippets are just text-only email templates. So for example, a lot of people ask me about pricing for my consulting services. Rather than me write out a long drawn out email every time, I just say, you know what? I'm just gonna create a snippet and say and not have to rewrite that email. So for example, I use my test dummy here, Brandon Test 2. Uh, he asked me, hey, how much is your services? Well, I just rather than write out this email, I'll be like, you know what? I'm just gonna say pricing, pricing, and I created a list of snippets that I'm saying over and over again because people are asking me the same question over again. So I go to my CRM consulting pricing details, click on it, email done, hit send, there you go. And so now they see that information and now it saves me time from having to recreate that email over and over again. So I'm always thinking and strategizing of everything that is always said to me and creating a template or a snippet out of it so I don't have to recreate the wheel and write that email because it's a time suck, to be honest with you. So that's just one example. Like I'm always thinking of different things to be more efficient with my time, and I want to give other people ideas when I'm presenting of what they could do to be more efficient with their time as well, because obviously they want to escape the hustle. Okay. And another thing too as well is, say for example, you in my business, I do a lot of CRM demonstrations. After I do a demo, a visual demo, they're not always going to be ready to buy at that moment in time, and that's totally okay. It's totally okay because I expect that. I need them to digest it and take everything in. So what I do is after they do a demo, I actually enroll them into an automation or a workflow that just follows up with them in a nice way, not super salesy or whatnot. But the thing is, rather than me try to remember to send them a follow-up email in 3 days or in a week, because that multiplies. Say you had like 10 demos, like how are you going to manually follow up with them? It just takes too much time. So I create pre-written emails or pre-written workflows that automate that process. So I'll give you an example. Say for this example, Brandon Test 2, I did a demo for him. And because of that, I need to follow up with him because he's not ready to buy right away. And that's totally okay. And if a person is ready to buy, I actually have a pre-made email saying, here's the link, here's how you buy, here are the directions. Already done. I don't have to recreate the email. Again, it's another time saver. But for example, say he's not ready to buy, so I'm gonna add him to my automation, to my workflow. I'm gonna say, I think it's called PAI, post demo. I have my own naming standard, obviously. You guys are come up with your own naming standard. This might not mean anything to you, but it does mean a lot to me. So this is a post demo. Nurture them. Do I want to nurture them now, send them an email immediately? No, I don't ever do that. I don't follow up right away. I usually wait 3, 7, or 14 days, and they'll tell me to, I'll ask them. And then I'll pay attention to what their ask is, and I say, you know what? I'm going to follow up with them in 14 days. Now they get enrolled into that workflow. They'll get an email asking them along the lines of, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to know if you looked at other CRM options. Want to know if you have any questions related to the demo that I gave to you. Let me know if you want to do a quick 15-minute call. Here's the link to do a quick 15-minute call. And then it sends them an email every like once a week, and then sometimes it'll stop and then go like every month. And the thing is, you're not giving up on that opportunity because if you did, then most likely that's not going to turn into a sale. And also, too, a lot of sales are created after the 10th to 20th follow-up. So if you don't have a system in place that's built for you, you're definitely going to lose out on those opportunities. And if you do it manual, it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to be inefficient. So that's just an example. And another example is, I do a lot of networking. When I meet somebody and I really like what they're all about, I need to make sure to follow up with them so I keep that relationship alive. So rather than manually following up with them like in 30 days, I'm not going to do that because in 30 days, I'm going to be so busy going to meetings, doing demos, working on projects that I'm going to forget that person. Multiply that by 30 people that you want to follow up with. Well, the thing is, I'm going to do an automation or workflow, or I'm going to nurture them. So I'm going to say, you know what? I just met Brandon right now, and I want to make sure to follow up with him accordingly to remind myself to follow up with him. So I'm going to go to my networking nurture, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to follow up with him in 28 days. And the first email is basically saying, hey, how's it going, Brandon? I just want to catch up with you. Any new things that are going on with you? Is there anything you need support on? Let me know if you want to strengthen our relationship together. Click here to book a meeting with me. And then after 28 days, they get an email every 60 days, and it's not to the point of annoyance. I don't want to annoy people because it'll cause them to unsubscribe, and it's just a big turnoff for me. So this is my way of keeping that relationship alive, because when we further meet more and more, it's going to create more opportunities. We're going to be stronger referral partners. I'm going to refer them more business. They're going to refer me more business. And it's best to have that automated system. Yeah, it's automation, but at the same time, the human connection comes into play when they decide to book another time with you. So there you go. So these are some of the things that I use to not miss out on opportunities for yourself. And if you don't have a system in place, you're not going to be, like I said, you're going to miss out on those opportunities. So those are just examples of some of the things that I do in my follow-ups in a combination with email templates and automations, otherwise known as workflows. And another thing I'm really excited about too as well, like for people that do virtual meetings, not virtual meetings, but in-person meetings, we do a lot of, obviously we do a lot of talking and we're collecting a lot of business cards. Then we go home, we input those business cards into our CRM or into our spreadsheet or whatnot, and then we send emails to people. That is way too inefficient. So what I do in my CRM, it has an app. I basically just take a picture of the person's card, give it back to them and say, hey, thank you. And they're like, oh, well, how come you don't want to keep my card? I said, I have you. It automatically got scanned and saved into the CRM and I don't need it. And here's the thing, I created a automation where once it gets scanned, it'll send them an email 63 minutes later. So it looks not obvious that it's an automation, but basically it says, hey, it was great talking to you. Let me know if you want to strengthen our relationship and learn more about each other to see how we could really be good referral partners. Here is a link to my calendar. Click here. That calendar is connected to my CM. They book a meeting with me. We strengthen that relationship. And I don't have to go home and do all that like data entry or whatnot to save so much time. Like all these little things save up time in terms of escaping the hustle. So that's just an example there. And another thing that's very important too as well is engagement scoring. So engagement scoring just basically measures how active somebody is within your CRM. Are they replying to your emails? Are they subscribing to you? Are they filling out forms? Are they clicking on links? These things measure how active a person is. And the thing is, it allows you to determine who you want to focus your efforts on. Because they're going to be prospects and networking partners that are low engagement. They're not looking at anything, they're unsubscribing. You don't want to focus your efforts on that. Now you have a system in place to keep track of that without you having to use your brain and your mind to keep track of all your contacts. That's just too much mess within your brain to even comprehend all those calculations to determine who are those highly engaging prospects that are more likely to convert or networking partners that are more likely to give you a referral. So, uh, in terms of the examples, I'll give you an example of the engagement scoring. So honestly, like I said, you identify the people who are engaging with your business. Basically, I call them who are the worthy folks in your CRM. The people that are really wanting to support what you do, or the prospects that are reading about your material most likely to convert. You could see that information in your CRM. So I'll give an example. I created something called email reply dynamic, and it doesn't mean anything to you, but it means a lot to me. And I'll generally tell you like what it means to me, and I'm going to show you the example. I'm not going to get into the tutorial of how to write the workflow. I'm going to show you visually how it looks, but explain to you in English like what's happening. So essentially this looks confusing or whatnot, but once I teach you or once you know how to do it, then it'll be easy. But basically what's happening is I'm the system is measuring whether if they've sent me a SMS, a text message, or did they reply to one of my email campaigns, or did they send me a one-on-one email or reply to an email. So each of those activities are awarded points because that's recording how engaging they are. If they're not doing any of these activities, then they're just not a person that's very interested. So every time somebody emails me, replies to my email, opens up one of my important email campaigns, they're being awarded points. And I'm not doing it manually. The system is actually doing it because I built it. And everybody's engagement scoring criteria is going to be different. So when I work with clients, I ask them, what are those most important engagement activities for you? And then we're going to assign points. So now you could see who are those highly engaging people that are more likely to create opportunities for you. Essentially, you're making healthy data-driven decisions, aka the healthy data guy signature type work or whatnot. So yeah. So that's an example. And another example that I'm not going to go into is personality description. So the email reply dynamic is the system is actually keeping track of it, keeping score, but the personality description is what I do when I'm talking to somebody. So for example, I'll have keywords associated with people, otherwise known as tags. So for example, I could say, oh, this person's salesy. So I'll put in salesy into my tag list, and that salesy is connected to negative points. Now, if I put in a person is business savvy, tech savvy, genuine, giving, go-getter, thoughtful, like all those keywords are associated with positive points. So when I'm talking to my customers, prospects, or networking partners, I'm using my judgment to give them keywords that are also associated with positive or negative points. So my system is actually taking my human intuition plus the system to create a holistic engagement score for people. And so now, to me, it's a more accurate scoring because it's the system and me. So now I can see who I want to truly focus my efforts on based on a holistic engagement scoring criteria. And again, I'm focusing on building relationships with those who are most likely to really create opportunities. Includes prospects, networking partners, and all the other categories of people that are in my CRM, because the ones that are highly engaging are the ones that are more likely to want to support what you do or buy what you're doing. All right, and now another thing that's very important is organizing your pipeline. So your pipeline is basically just your let's see, how do I explain it? Your pipeline is basically your customer journey. So this is a visual representation of the pipeline when this loads up. I'm giving a test example. So this is a company I used to work for called LabSmarts. This is basically my pipeline of where everybody's at in the customer journey. Some people start out as a new lead warm. Some people start out in different stages. And here's the thing, like you're gonna have your own pipeline and your own pipeline stages, okay? Your business is totally different. So you could craft how you want your customer journey to be. So it could be like booked meeting, not interested, purchased, don't contact, like whatever you want to do. Like you could create your customer journey in your pipeline within the CRM. But the thing is, you could visually see where everybody is at so that you could get them to move forward in that buying process. You could automatically drag them over, or you could have outside events that automatically drag them over into another pipeline stage. For example, say if Chrissy was going to purchase from me, maybe she booked a meeting with me. So the pipeline will actually move into a stage called book meeting. It automatically does it. I don't have to manually do it. Like you could do a lot of things that are automated behind the scenes so that certain triggers in the system cause people to move over to different stages within the pipeline. So, and also too, it's just a really nice visual representation of where people are at in the buying process. And here's the thing, say for example, I have three opportunities or three people that are waiting for a specific feature to come out for LabSmarts. Well, what I could do when it comes out, I could actually send out an email campaign to all these three people rather than send a one-on-one email. It takes too long. And here's the thing, when I send out that campaign to those people that are in the same stage, they think that I'm just emailing it to them, but I've refined what stage they're in, so they think that it's only to them and customized to them only, which is great. So that's a good example of just saving time to find out where all your prospects are at in the buying process. And to have a pipeline, a visual pipeline, to have more targeted messaging is going to be a lot more effective to create more conversion for your business. And the last slide, I know I'm rushing through this. I want to have time for us to do Q&A, is choosing the right CRM. So the thing is, the one question I always ask people when I'm doing a free CRM consultation, I always ask them, do you plan to grow? 99% of people, yes, they plan to grow. And this is the one piece of advice that if you didn't listen to anything in my presentation, to pay attention to this next statement. So essentially, you should avoid, like the plague, any CRM that does stair-step pricing. So stair-step pricing just basically means if you grow your contact list beyond a certain amount, that means you're growing. The CRM will say, oh, you've reached a threshold. You have to upgrade to this next package, which is pricier. Or if you need to add staff members into your CRM, they'll charge you per user per month. So a lot of CRMs, what they do is they're very sneaky, just like food ingredients as well, like nutrition facts. So they'll say $50 a month, and you're like, oh, that's great. That's a great price. I could afford $50 a month. But in the fine print, it'll say something like $50 per month per user. So think about if you started to grow, if you have 10 users, 50 times 10 is $500. That's just unbelievably a lot. So that's why I avoid stair-step pricing model CRMs like the plague. And also too, here's the other thing. If you need additional features, they make you upgrade to pricier packages as well. So see, these are examples of things that are characteristics that are in the stair-step pricing model CRMs. And examples of CRMs that do that are HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive, Zoho, Keep, just to name a few. A Monday. So the thing is, I've done my research and added CRMs into my tool belt that align with my values so that if I make recommendations, I feel comfortable knowing I'm providing somebody with a CRM that's actually going to grow with them, not nickel and dime them as they grow. Okay. And the other thing is that's important to me is customer support. And I've done all my research, so I have those lists of CRMs that I like sharing with people so that they could determine what they really want to focus on or what CRM they want to choose if they're looking for a CRM or if they're not really happy with their CRM. And the last thing is there's additionally more factors to take in consideration. And one of the things that I did is I've created a guide called the Right CRM Guide. Basically, it talks about all the factors that many do not take in consideration when looking for a CRM. Sometimes people will just listen to their business partner and say, "Hey, I use Monday. It's great for me." And they automatically think it's great for them too as well. But I think that CRMs are like ice cream flavors. Some people like Neapolitan, mocha almond fudge, mint chocolate chip, vanilla. It doesn't Everybody's different, so you need to find the right one and do a little bit of research for yourself to determine what is the right fit. And I give those into a two-page guide and with no tech speak, just plain English that everybody can understand on a business level so that you have that information so that you can make the right decision. You can literally go to this link or go to this QR code to find that information. Or if you just want to talk to me, you skip the message, skip the reading, just come to me. Either way, whatever is easy for you. I just want to provide value in what I do to the people that are associated with me. And yeah, to recap.
Yes, so that was really great information. And basically, what we covered today was how do you diversify your revenue, making sure that you've got three different ways of making money, not what are you selling, but making money. Then, how to really refine and simplify your marketing so that every single thing has a purpose and actually has a return on it. And then finally, how to set up your CRM, how to reclaim hours and hours of time back with automations. Automations are one of my favorite things with snippets, with templates, with really just making sure that you're not losing out on opportunities because your brain forgot it or you misplaced the sticky note or it's under a pile of books somewhere. So, how do you actually go set up your business in a way that is going to be really, truly sustainable for you? So that's the end of the presentation. Connect with Brandon and I if you've got any questions, and we do have a few moments for any clarification questions or any rabbit hole questions if anyone had anything.
Any
I'm going
black
to
hole
use that.
questions? Any black hole questions?
I'm using that in my future presentations, Brandon. Black hole questions.
Yeah, because you go through a black hole and like you can never come back and you just get way off base on your presentation. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is a black hole or not, but I'm just impressed about how many tags you had. I thought I had a lot of tags.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, I do this while I'm talking to somebody like,
Mhm.
Nathan, when I'm talking to you, I'm putting in a lot of positive keywords associated with you so that I could search and find you and connect you with the right people that are aligned, that truly are aligned with you. So it helps me enhance my search filtering. Um, so the more descriptions you have, the better. Like, yeah, don't go with, I mean, I had a lot. Not everybody is me, but like, and that was my test account too. That's my test contact because I'm trying different things, and then
Mhm.
whatever works, I actually apply that to myself and to my clients. So I am my biggest test dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, One thing I've been currently focusing on is I work, a lot of my referral partners are CPAs. But a lot of the CPAs, some of them actually do bookkeeping. So I use tags to differentiate that. So what kind of questions would you ask to see the difference without feeling like you're pushing something? If that makes any sense, or if it's off topic, or is it the black hole?
Pretty, do I have an answer to that? There was somebody asking me a question and I was
Yeah,
writing.
sorry, I was just talking.
Yeah. So I think for that, it kind of depends, Nathan, on your general vibe, but I think just asking around like the services that they provide, the way that they help their clients, and then one that's a good sticker for a lot of people is what are the pain points that your clients are coming to you with? Because it's going to be different for accounting versus bookkeeping. Some overlap, right? But what are the things that their clients are complaining about, that they're moaning about? That's going to help you figure out, okay, this might be a little bit of competition because we do some of the similar things, or actually, no, I'm just a great shoe-in for them.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And then Brandon, we had a question in the chat as well from Heather, or
Yeah.
oh, Madeline, you just answered. Never mind then.
Yeah, I was reading hers. Sorry, Nathan, I was reading hers while you were talking and I got sidetracked wanting to answer her.
Another great example of why you want to have workflows, because all of our brains are going to ping pong between the distracting things in the world.
Yeah,
Great
and
example,
I'm
Brandon.
happy I have another example. I have a teammate to bounce off of rather than do this on my own. Because I would probably not even be attention to the chat and be paying attention to the people that are actually talking to me too as well. So yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions on anything that we covered today, or how to apply it to your business, anything like that?
I had a question. You were talking about ancillary revenue. This I was thinking of an example and let me know if this is ancillary or if this is something else. So like having pre-recorded trainings, and then creating a community where like you offer these trainings, you have a community, and you could hire a VA to manage the comments and everything like the communities. But sometimes I might have to intervene if needed with deeper ended questions. Is that considered ancillary, or is that still like I'm still hustling because I'm still in it?
So that's such a great example. Thank you. There's a little bit of overlap between some of this. So there is an element to that it's ancillary, because the way that you described it, you're delegating pretty much everything off of your plate except the creation of a training or a video here and there that might be repurposed. It's also probably a stepping stone, because based off of your business, people are going to come into that community, have some kind of support that may then be like, oh, actually, I don't want to DIY this. I just want to be like, Brandon, go be magic, do my thing for me. Or they're coming in after they've already got it set up and they're getting support. So it's in part stepping stone as well.
Got it.
And then also, depending on how you're marketing it, it could actually be one of your signature offers, that you could do your consulting on one side and say, actually, I have this whole community where you get this support. So it's a mix of kind of all of them, depending on how you're going to go at it, what kind of resources you're putting into it. And I want to catch, actually, I'm going to put my coaching hat on for a second. I want to catch something that you said of the hustle. We're escaping the hustle 100%. We don't need to be in that frantic go, 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 go. And also, we're all ambitious. We're all doing a lot of things in the world. So there is going to be that very strong aligned action of like, shit, I've got things to do today. I'm hauling it, right? So I just want to catch that for a second, Brandon. Pick on you for a minute.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Can I ask a quick question? I know we have like very little time left, but
Yeah,
just
and
that
if
is
people
time.
have to go, please sign off. But yeah, I'm here. Go ahead, Claudio. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The question is about like because we're talking about courses, and I thought about that, but then I think that's like even if you take the time to create a course, right, the chapter videos and all of that, but then you have to sell the course, right? Now we're talking about the marketing for the course. And then now I'm not doing the marketing to get clients, and I'm trying to get client to project, but I'm also trying to get them on retainer. And then just like now I have just more marketing to do, I'm hustling more for trying. Just like how to balance that.
I feel the same way, Claudio. That's why I haven't even created a community or that, because I feel like it's gonna open up a can of worms, just like you just said.
Yeah.
And You nailed it there too, because that's often the thing of we think of, especially courses. Courses are a really great example that we think it's going to be this like, okay, I'm going to get it done, boom, and the rest of it's passive income. And that's why I say that there's always this huge giant red asterisk next to passive income, because it is. There's a lot of work that's going to go up to it up front. And I think with things like that, if not knowing anything about you or your business or your life or anything, just parceling it out, reminding yourself that your business is a long-term endeavor. You're not in it to leave in 6 months, that it doesn't have to be done in 2025 or 2026. Like giving yourself a long runway so that it doesn't feel like I need to get this done and you get that kind of anxiety in your chest, and just knowing that you're going to make iterations to it anyway. You're going to end up re-recording one of the modules. You're going to have some kind of tech, like things are going to go wrong. Giving yourself that roadway to really get it done. But you nailed the problem with these kind of passive incomes, that it requires a lot of the setup work to it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thanks, Claudio.
All
All
right.
right. Any other questions? Because we have reached time. We're 1 minute overdue, but yeah, I like taking the questions, and I'm assuming Chrissy does too as well. So I'm so happy that we could provide this information to you. Feel free to contact us, connect with us on LinkedIn, whatever. And Chrissy, do you have anything else to say?
No, just thank you all for joining us. Anyone catching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. And yeah, just reach out. I'm going to go ahead and assume for Brandon it's the same, but it's us talking. So just send us an email, connect with us. Let's have a conversation and see what you've got going on. But thank you guys so much.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Good talking to you.
Thank you,
And I'm sure
guys.
we'll connect and do a future one-on-one. Matt,
Right.
Claudio, I see
Yes.
some. I don't see